Hello. Getting this video done early. There's not any particular subject I've got in mind. It's kind of a potpourri of not much. And the last thing I was thinking about was the first thing I'm going to mention here, because I don't know if it makes any sense. Don't know if it makes... It's daydreaming. I think everybody does daydreaming. And it just seems that over the last, 20 years, I've kind of tried to stop doing daydreaming. Kind of a mental exercise or something. This is why I shouldn't have put this first, because I've got no real... I can't help thinking it's probably a good idea to have a bit of a program running that, if it notices daydreaming going on, that shuts it down, because if anything's a waste of time, I think daydreaming is probably a waste of time. Now, this waste of time is very difficult, so I don't want to go down that road, but just as an offhand description, waste of time. So that's daydreaming. Not to do, not recommended. And for the reason is that it's escapism. And escapism, again, I've got nothing that I'm really confident on here that I can recommend. It's just almost like the way my life has gone, and that's the best I can say, really. So, daydreaming, waste of time. And wasting time by not being in the here and now. And I know that takes us to Eckhart Tolle and all that being in the now sort of stuff. But I think there is something to it. So I'll start at the beginning, I think, where I was more, nothing in here is particularly comfortable. Going on holiday, taking vacations. Got this memory that goes back to the first job I had, and a particular girl who was talking about her holiday that she'd booked. And the holiday was for July or something, and I'm sure we were talking about it in January or February. And this was one of the first examples of me realising that there is this dreadful thing about looking forward to something, which is often penciled in as a really good, nice thing. And I think it is for vacations. You can have 6 months of looking forward to it, and then the 10 days of the vacation comes and goes in an absolute instant, and it's just gone. It goes so quickly. So most of the enjoyment you get from it is in the 6 months looking forward to it, and a little bit in boring people to death with showing them photographs afterwards. Actually being there, I don't think adds up to much. And I'll link it with television because I want to come back to something I think is linked to both of them. Watching television, as I remember, let's say, that you get a particular program or something that's going to come on, and you're looking forward to watching it. And you're watching other things which aren't as good until the good thing comes on. Now, whether the actual good thing when it comes on is any good or not is a different matter, but as I remember, this can lead to boredom. Boredom seems to arise, if I remember, because I haven't been bored for so long, I've got to remember about what it's like and what triggers it. Is that you've got something planned forward in time, and the wait for it is boring because it's not the thing that you're expecting to have so much fun with in future time. So it makes present time into a comparatively worse time, and it's boring. And I think this only arises, again, you really have to help me out in comments. I think this only arises, boredom only arises when you're looking forward to something in the future. So this video is about saying, don't do it. Don't ever look forward to things in the future. It might actually be, like for vacations, the absolute best way to wring as much enjoyment you can out of that one event. But while you're wringing little bits of enjoyment out of being excited about something that's going to happen in the future, you're also in a trough of not being content because the thing isn't happening yet and you've got to wait for it. I think I'll stop there because I feel all a bit out of my depth. Because, as I say, I haven't done boredom, and I haven't been doing, I don't go round looking forward to things in the future. But I think it's a lot what external people do, and I think it's what used to be called a bane of their lives, as in it's something that they have set up which does extenuate the amount of joy you can get out of a particular event. But there is a very big down component to it as well. So although you get maybe a little bit more upness out of a small amount of time, you get a lot of downness out of more time. And I don't think the balance is quite well worked out. Yeah, I've just had a couple of other things come in, but I think they'll just confuse matters. So where I'm not going with the Eckhart Tolle live in the now, this is more don't live in the future because it leads to boredom, and boredom is bad. Yeah, I was going to go into the whole thing about working, but I might do that dependent on the comeback from this video. What time have we got? 9 minutes. Maybe I could do work. Yeah, let's throw working on top because it's quite, it is linked. You've got a job, you don't like it, you find it boring, etc., etc. I say to you, do that job absolutely and completely the best that you possibly can. And the only way to do anything the best you possibly can is to concentrate on each moment and do it properly. And I know modern things are often the equivalent of they don't pay me, so I don't, they pretend to pay me, so I only pretend to work. This, to my mind, would be a screaming pull my hair out if I had any hair. Terribleness, absolutely waste of life and terrible. If you're working in an Amazon warehouse, you can still do it to the best of your ability. And you're not doing it for Amazon. Fuck Amazon. You're doing it for yourself. You get a certain amount of self-pride about it. But much more importantly, each moment is yours. because you're doing it. Even if it's taking a box from a shelf, you can try and take it off so it doesn't hit that one on the left or that one on the right, and you can slide it off, and you might think, oh, that's pathetic. But that is doing something for yourself, because you have set yourself the task of doing it perfectly, and you're doing it the way that you want to do it. You're doing it for yourself. You're taking control over your own life. This sort of thing I know is possible. And an awful lot of people are stuck in bad jobs and think the way out is to do them badly and just look forward to going home, and especially weekends, and very, very especially going on vacation. And I cannot imagine a worse waste of a life than that. So that at least introduces work, and we'll call it quits there. Okay.